Good morning, team. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you had a spectacular weekend and you're ready to rock and roll this week. I know I am, and I hope you are too. I got some good stuff to cover with you. If this is your first Leadership Live, welcome. This call is designed for people that are team trainer and above. We've not restricted it the last couple of weeks, so there could be some people learning about this who just see it in the schedule and come on out. And if so, okay, congrats on being ambitious and have an initiative to get on the call. This is designed for people who want to lead an organization in DAC. And the beautiful thing about DAC is it can afford you the opportunity to earn some significant income and do so in a way that sets up retirements or escape routes from jobs or pays off all your debt or pays off college educations or buys some toys, and all while creating an impact for others. So because this is the leadership call, we're going to be talking about uh, team building and some different things you can do with team building that's critical. And what's most important as I get started is um, it's important, first of all, that your mindset, right? Your story is going to shape your results. So if you don't have a story believing that, you can do this or this doesn't work or no one I recruit's ever going to do anything, then you've lost the battle, right? You've lost the battle. And if you were watching yesterday's football game at all, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but with a few minutes left to go in the Tampa Bay game, or no, I'm thinking the game earlier. I don't know. Whatever game was on earlier, Green Bay. Green Bay was losing pretty bad, and the commentator with like 4 minutes to go asked Tom Brady, can you give some hope to the fans watching? Because hope's not a strategy. Hope's not a strategy. I really can't. I don't see a turnaround. Well, I'm sitting there looking at this going, Green Bay's got to go down the field and score, do an onside kick, get the ball back, score again, and they can win. So it is possible. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl after all doing that, against Atlanta years ago. And so there was still a way, right? But he was being honest that they hadn't been doing anything all game. It was unlikely they were going to do anything different. Well, we're not playing quarterback and we don't have injured linemen and receivers. We're building a business, and you can, despite the first three quarters of the game, despite what you did in 24, if you haven't had success in 24, that's okay, unless you keep doing the same thing. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we're not just having a strategy of hope, but we're also being optimistic. So it starts with your story of success. The hardest thing for you is imagining that you can build a team who will succeed. That's the hardest thing. When I start a company, when I started DAC, it was, do I think people will actually succeed at getting customers? If not, I would have never told anyone about it. I would have just got customers myself, right? Do I believe some people can make full-time money with this business? If not, there's no reason to start the company. Do I believe I can do this in a way to protect the business protect the agents so they can't lose money with us? Yeah, okay, then I can start the company. So it starts with your story, right? So you got to look at your story you're telling yourself right now, because your belief is going to precede your actions. All right. So do you believe when you recruit five people, two of them could make money, three of them could make money, all five could make money, all five of them can, but not all five will, right? We're going to get aces and faces and then 2 through 9 on a deck of cards. The 2 through 9s aren't really even going to try, right? The aces and faces, they're going to try, and some of them are going to have success, but some are only going to give it a 30-day window or a 3-day window, and they're going to quit. And they're not aces, right? They gave it a whirl. It's just like in the Bible, Jesus talked about the four types of soils and the sower of seeds throwing seeds. And Jesus said, some of those seeds, it's going to fall in four types of soils. And basically the seed's the same. And he was talking about the gospel, which means good news. He was just talking about the good news of Jesus coming and being the Son of God, and those believe in him can have eternity, right? And the ultimate sacrifice. Well, some of it's going to fall on 2s through 9s, and they're not going to even accept the seed. But then the aces and faces, ace cards and face cards, the faces are like the ones who receive it, get excited about it, but it's shallow soil and the plant starts to grow. But as soon as, some other things come around, the heat of someone saying, I don't like this type funding, or this is one of those things, or they misunderstand. And Ruts is always, overly excited about this, or they should provide us leads, or they're going to hear something. And then all of a sudden they're going to wither, and they're not an ace. They're a jack, queen, or king. They're not going to be. They're the soil that takes root, gets excited, but doesn't take much to burn them out. We're going to have all of those too. It doesn't matter whether it's the gospel, the good news, or the DAC business. You're going to find that. So, can you though proceed in regardless? Can you proceed with that as well? Because it is your mindset over the mechanics that determines your business. The mindset over the mechanics. It doesn't take much to do this. When you think about it, once you have your story straight in your mind that you believe, hey, if I recruit 5 people, three of them are all 5 can have success, but I should have 1 or 2 who have some real good success and get clients the first month. If you believe that, then it's just a matter of, you got the mechanics in place, you got the belief. Now it's just a matter of getting out there and talking to people, promoting the business with ethics, right? And you're going out there, you refer people and you share your belief. We say refer people, share your beliefs, and attract people who believe what you believe. That's all this is. It doesn't matter whether you're referring the funding or the payment processing or the income opportunity. We're talking about the opportunity right now. And the last time I was an agent was in the late 90s. And I act as an agent. I'm paid as an agent in DAC. So I am an agent. But the last time I full-time worked as an agent, meaning you have no operations to run, just your agent marketing business and supporting and training your team. The last time I did that, I had a goal every month and every week of how many new people I was going to recruit and how many teammates they were going to have that did so much production. And I had that goal every single week. And I believe that if I recruit 5 people this week or this month, depends on the goal, I believe that 3 of those 5 are going to have success getting customers at this or that. All 5 can, but 3 out of the 5 will in their first month. And now second month, it's going to fall to 2 maybe. And third month, maybe it's only going to fall to 1 who stays active of those 5. But I would think all 5 have a shot. So I'm going to give all 5 everything I got. And I'm looking for aces and faces. And then I'm working with all of those people to find out which ones are the aces. And hopefully 3 of the 5. Hopefully all 5 are aces, right? I'm not judging. I'm just okay. I'm okay if not everyone wants to be a real estate agent, even though they got licensed. I'm okay if I own Century 21 and 100,000 people get licensed this year and only 7,000 sell a home or help someone sell a home. I'm okay that 93,000 didn't, because I can't. I'm okay if I own Planet Fitness and I sell 100,000 memberships and only 7,000 people use the gym. I'm okay because I'm making it available to them. Now, in a business opportunity where you're promoting income, I don't like making money on people who don't produce. I don't want to earn a dime before you made $1. So otherwise we'd be charging a monthly fee or have some renewal costs, something to help offset some of our support costs, right? And then, hey, 1,000 people join. If they don't do anything, they don't do anything. It's on them. Yeah, I can't live that way because of a journey I've had in the past. And so I've swung all the way to the right, where I won't make money on people until they've made money, because I made a lot of money on people early on in companies where I referred them and I earned big bonuses, even if they never made money. And it started to bother me. But I had goals every week of how many people I was going to recruit, how I was going to help them, how I was going to help them get their money back. And if I recruited 5 people, 2 of them made their money back, 3 of them may have lost their money. It was only $500 or $1,000 or $300, but it was enough that I started feeling guilty about being in front of the room. I wanted 100% success, or I didn't want the income. I wanted to make my income when they made income. I didn't want to make my income on them starting. Right. And so that's why I started my own company. That's why I left ACN. Great company. I know the owners. I still talk to the owners now, and they go out and what are they doing? 700 million this year. They're a great company, but you got to pay money to get started, and 9 out of 10 lose that money. I mean, it's never going to change. It never has. But it's not a lot of money, so it's a good business, right? I just couldn't. I felt guilty with it. Well, why am I sharing all this? Because I changed the story in my head that I always had a goal. I never hit it. I never once hit my monthly goal of how many people I was going to recruit and what they were going to do. Not one time. But every month I was active, I was in the top 10 producers in ACN. in new production. And because every month I had a goal I was shooting for. And every month I was trying to accomplish this and I believed in the business so much. And the day I didn't believe is the day I had to leave. I'm practicing what I preach here, or I'm preaching what I practice here. The day I didn't believe was the day I had to leave because you can't build something. And it was someone mentioning something to me about you're so passionate up there, and you just said of those five, those four are probably going to lose their money, but that one is going to make their money back and do real well. And so that's what I believe. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. And the girl who was sitting with me said, "How can you go up there with such belief if you know four out of five are going to? Well, it's not up to me. I'm not the ones who determine whether they make money. It's like, how can I sell a Planet Fitness membership if I know 95% are never going to use it? I mean, I could never sell it. Well, but it was that day that I realized, and with a couple other people telling me they were quitting because everyone they recruited lost their money, and I had been with a company prior that people lost tens of thousands of dollars, opening offices and doing different things, following our leaders, and so I'd gone through a lot of pain in the industry. Even though I was personally doing well, I had seen a lot of pain in the industry, and so it was that a flip switched where my belief switched. I'm going to do it for free. We want revenue off customers anyway. It's whether if the service isn't good enough to get customers, then you're going to have a cruddy business. But if the service is good enough to get customers, you can have a great business. So it was with that the mindset switches to, okay, now I believe it again. I'm going to go build a bigger team than anyone. And if they don't make money, hey, I didn't make a dime on them. Their enroller didn't make a dime. No one made any money until someone made money, until a customer was acquired. That's what network marketing was supposed to be about. That's what real business is supposed to be about, not internal consumption, not selling people on a new business to buy in at. No, but going out and getting customers. So all this to say to you guys, if you recruited five people tomorrow and you do it the right way and you follow the training of sort in advance, share what you believe, you're looking for people comfortable talking to business owners, you're looking for people who, if they're not comfortable, they're willing to be ambitious enough and dedicated enough to learn how to talk to customers. And if they're not willing to, they're not one of the right soils, right? Now they may lead you to someone who leads you to someone who leads you to someone, and you're working with those people and you still override it because you position yourself during overrides. And so you're working with anyone. But if you know, I believe right now, if I recruit five people into this, I can help them get two customers their first month. I believe I can help them get two customers or one customer at 80,000. I believe I could help that new person get to 80,000 in funding or 6,000 bonus revenue the first month. That new agent I recruit. I believe that. So as I recruit five, and I want all of them to do that. I'm telling them I believe they can do that through Warm Market alone and their local businesses where they already live. I already believe that. And if I help them do that, if you help someone, our average funding is 80,000 at the preferred. So leading with those requirements, you may get some smaller ones too. But if you lead with that, it's $80,000 average funding. Right now, it's actually about 140,000 average. But let's just say 80 because that's where I believe it's going to fall to. We've had a lot of big fundings recently. But 80,000, let's just say it's 6,000 bonus revenue. Forget the funding size. And that agent's making 40% of that 6,000 funding. They made $2,400 their first month. Pretty darn good. And if they get another one, now that they're amped up, they get 60% of that same 6,000. Now they made 3,600 on the next one. And then if they get another funding, well, because they did, now they're double it. Now they're going to get 70% of their next funding. And let's say they get another 6,000 bonus revenue. That's 4,200 they earn. And then if they get another one, so my thing is help them get at least one funding a month and they're making supplemental income. If they want to make full-time income, then we try to get two a month or three a month and get yourself amped up and stay double amped and triple amped. And you're making 80% of the bonus revenue. If it's $6,000 bonus revenue, you're making 80%. That's $4,800 a deal every month. Two of those a month, and you're on fire. Now people go, I don't know if you can get two a month. Okay, well then you're dealing with aces. No, you're dealing with faces. No, you're dealing with a 7 or 8 or a 9 in the deck. They just don't believe, and you can't. Jesus didn't stick around for the people who didn't believe. Right? You can't, you're not even Jesus. And whether you believe Jesus is the Son of God or not, you know who he is. Obviously, he had a message that is still duplicating today. So if he was just a prophet, well, then he had to be crazy because he was saying he was the Son of God. So somehow his message is still spreading. right? Well, if you don't believe that um, um, someone can get one funding a month, you really are in trouble. And you need to go to the bench for a minute, sit there and have a moment with yourself and say, can I understand that if I recruit the right way, not the wrong, like you've been doing it the wrong way, but recruit with the right attitude, the right belief, I'll attract high level people. If you go in, hey, you need to make some money in a needy, you're trying to find just needy people, good luck. You're recruiting twos and threes and fours. But if you go out there thinking, I'm going to build a team of 10 and us 10 are all going to get one client a month averaging 80,000, we'll each make a quarter million a year off that. And then we're going to build a team who does the same thing. We're going to make quarter million a year incomes. I'm only looking for people who are dedicated and serious and ambitious and willing to be coachable and bust their backsides, even if it's only part-time, but do it with a professionalism. You recruit someone like that, you're not getting threes and fours who call you every day for, hey, how do I get my card? Hey, why is this not working? What is the funding requirements for this and that? What's the minimum to get who's biddy? Bunch of people who don't go through anything. They're not dedicated to the craft at all, costing us money, costing DAC money. You're not recruiting them. You're recruiting top level people. And guess what? So when I recruited people in ACN, I'd tell them, I'm looking for people who want to open a market, want to open a city. You just want to get a couple customers. That's a problem. You can join, but I'm looking for people that are like, hey, I want to build a team, lead an office, and override 30 or 40 other people and make 3-4 grand a month in overrides minimum, maybe get that to 6 or 8,000 a month minimum by the end of the first year. Who would I recruit? Why was I always in the top producers? Because they would produce, because I recruited and I found the right soil, because the message was the right message. So what's your message that you're recruiting with? What's your belief level first? And now the mechanics, you go out there and you tell people you're looking for leaders. Now, I just want to give you this example. If you didn't worry about your group growth and you only focused on your new recruits this week that you're going to enroll, and you said, I'm going to recruit this week and I'm going to help them get one preferred client in their first month through their warm market, just one. And that's going to average 80,000. That person is going to make, if it's 7,000 bonus revenue, let's say, they're going to make 40% of that, 2,800 bucks. They're going to be a happy camper. And you're going to make either 10, 25, or 50% of that, depending upon whether you're amped up, engaged, or standard qualified, right? So they're making 4,800. Am I remembering right? 40% of 7 grand. They're making 2,800. You're making 280 all the way up to 58, all the way up to 1,400 on that one person. Now, if you said to yourself, I'm going to keep recruiting every week, every week, every week, every week, every week until I can average, till I have 10 people who can average one deal a month, till I have 10 frontliners who can average one deal a month, you make $250,000 a year. How long does it take you to find 10? I don't know. It depends on your message. It depends on whether you're needy. It depends on whether you're willing to be professional. It depends on your personal growth. It depends on your belief. We can't promise anything. But I can promise you that if you work on your personal growth and you work on your messaging and you work on your mechanics of sticking to this and then following up with them, doing a game plan, helping set the goals with them, doing all the things, I can promise you, if you keep doing that, it doesn't take long. It'll be within a year if you keep doing it. If you don't, if you're just running ads to anyone who wants to sign up and then hoping you find an ace, a jack, or a queen or king, it may take you 10 years. I don't know. But if you're literally saying strategically, I'm in Milford, Michigan, I want to get Commerce, Michigan, that whole area over there, open with a leader who can build a local team to lead Commerce, Michigan. It's only 12 miles away. Okay, but Milford's is enough. I could have a team of 6 could handle Milford and the surrounding areas right here. And then I'm going to get someone to go to Heartland, Michigan, which is 10 miles up the road. I'm going to get someone to go to Waterford, Michigan. I want a leader in Sterling Heights, Michigan. I want a leader up in Clarkston, Michigan. I want a leader in Novi, Michigan. I want a leader in Southfield. I need 4 leaders for downtown Detroit. I need 3 leaders down in Toledo, Ohio, or Monroe, Michigan. I'm going to get a couple leaders in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo. If you're thinking like that, guess what you do? You do that. If you're not, you don't. You don't do it. You don't even, it doesn't even cross your mind that you should do it. But if you look at this as I'm going to find a leader to open and lead a market, and then you tell people that there's no salary, and you don't have to quit your job to give a go at this. This is starting a business so you can work part-time and building a fortune while you're working full-time on your job. That's what we're looking for. People who want that opportunity, who are going, okay, I get it. Businesses can't get funding at their bank. We come in and help them. In fact, we cooperate with the banks. Holy cow, this is a home run. I see it. And then we go back and talk about payment processing with them, or we lead with payment processing, depending upon if they don't need funding or not. Holy cow, this could be spectacular. And I can build a team and override. Yeah. Now, when you gather that and say, okay, now I'm going to do it. A year from now, you'll have teams all over with productive people. But again, you can't keep working with people who are 2, 4, 6, 8s who aren't even going through the training. You can't work with people who aren't demonstrating that they're at least a face card or an ace card. You can't waste your time on them. It's not about loving people. It's not about, but this is not a ministry, in fact, that in a way that you got to talk people into doing stuff. It is a ministry that you serve people, but you got to serve people who are showing up, not people who aren't showing up, not people who don't want to try for it. Now, if you just take this philosophy that we've just covered in these 15, 20 minutes here, and you adopt it, you'll make $250,000 in 25. I can't promise that, but there's a likelihood. I can promise if you don't do it, if you don't adopt this mentality, then you're going to make personal commissions good. And you may stumble on like a lottery ticket. You may stumble on someone in your team who all of a sudden just shows their head and they get a big funding. And you go, wow, they're in my team. I didn't even know it. Right. Or they get a small funding. You're like, where'd this come from? I got a commission. Who's Lisa Lovely? I've never heard of her. And you look at, oh, wow, she's on my 7th level. Wow, I'm going to have to reach out to Lisa. That happens too. But have the plan this week. You're in the leadership room. In this week, have the plan. I'm going to recruit 5 people and I'm looking for aces and faces. And I'm going to have the conversation that attracts those people. And you can believe in what the business stands for. If you don't believe yet that you can support those people, rely on the system and then up your game quickly till you can support them. It's okay. And the good news is we've got funding training they can watch. If I recruit someone, the first thing I'm gonna do is watch videos. I'm not wasting time. I need to find them going through the training before I'm going to sit down for an hour with them. I'm saying the right things to attract them. And then if they join and they demonstrate they really are a face card or an ace card because they're going through the training and they're onboarding the right way, now they're deserving of a game plan. But if I recruit 10 people with the right messaging and 4 of them go, yeah, I haven't been through the training yet. Okay, once you get done through the training, give me a buzz. I want to sit down with you. Let's do a game plan. And you can't invest time into people who aren't investing time themselves. You can't. It's a mistake. All right. So it's a simple thing. And I'm reaching out to our programmers to modify our qualifications where the 10% minimum qualification that right now you have to have 200 residual revenue or it's your first 90 days. Those are the 2 things to earn 10% of the people you recruit. I'm reaching out to them to try to change it for an incentive. So let me just say this. Anyone you recruit in January, doesn't matter whether you're qualified for that 10% right now or not, you're going to get 10% on them, even if we have to do it manually until we can get it coded in. So anyone you recruit here forward, you're getting 10% on for the remainder of January. Anyone you recruit in January, you get 10% on their first 30 days. But if we can get a program, it'll be permanently. So this is not a reason to not recruit. We've taken away all the reasons not to. Now, better yet, get a funding so you're amped up and you make 50% on them. Why make the minimum? It's another thing that I don't understand. You know, when I was that age, and I'm like, okay, if I do this kind of production, I make $100 on everyone in my team. If I do this kind of production, I make 150 on everyone on my team. If I do this kind of production, I make 240 on everyone on my team. If I do this production, I make 275 on everyone in my team. I'm shooting to this thing. I'm shooting to that level. Why all I got to do is step up my personal production and I make a lot more on my team. You can make 50%, 25, or 10% income match on the people you personally enroll. Who wants to be at 10 when you can make 50? Why would you ever not be at 50? Well, you got to get one client a month. So what? So prospect more. I mean, it's just I remember, and just to show, I remember a friend of mine, his name's Greg. I had a um, group that pittered out in my company, and I was told I need 670 customers in my team. These are personal long distance customers by the end of the month, or I was going to be demoted down a level because you have so many thousands of customers in your team, but there was some falling off and different things. So I needed 670 new customers in my group by the end of the month. So I reached out under one leg, and that leg had just a lot of it just disappeared. So I was trying to get that leg activated. I said, you know what? I can hope, but it'll cost me about 5 grand if I don't have this 600. Some of you are missing out on 5 grand every funding because someone goes out and makes 9,000. You could have made 50% of it, $4,500, but you're not qualified for it. Someone made 8,000. You could have made 50%. Someone made 6,000. You could have made 50%, but you're not qualified for it. And I said, I'm not missing out on 5 grand. Now, you can miss out on more. You could have 10 fundings in your front line that get funded. You miss out on 50% of their income and only get 10% of it or 25. And so I got after it. I went to my buddy. I said, listen, I want you to, you're already in the business. You're in that group. I'll go get the customers with you. I'll put them all in your number. I'll get the 600 myself. And we went out and spent a weekend in East Lansing, Michigan, getting phone customers at Michigan Bell, where it was a public sidewalk where we tried it locally and got kicked off the sidewalk because it wasn't private. And I said, let's go to East Lansing where it's a public walkway in downtown. And we sat there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in February when it was cold. And we would just say, hey, and we talked to them about their phone service. And we got those 670 customers. In fact, we got 681 because I knew some wouldn't enter right. And I turned them in with like 4 or 5 days left in the month. I said, tell me which ones are bad because I know I'm probably going to need to get 20 or 30 more, but I had 3 or 4 days left. That's going to be easy now because I didn't want to miss out on overrides at a higher, I wanted to qualify. So when I hear people go, I think qualification should be easier. I think you should listen. We create pay plans that pay out more than we make for the producers. And then we got to earn some money too, DAC, to survive because we don't charge agents a penny. Everything we build, our employees, our systems, everything comes from overrides. Same way you're paid. We get a commission. What if there's no funding? We still got to cover all the bills. So if you want to get paid even when you don't have to qualify, then you're demonstrating you're not a face card or an ace card. You're demonstrating you're a 7 or a 6 or a 5 and you want a handout. This is a performance-based pay plan. Now you wouldn't be here, but people in your team, those are the type things. Those are the type things that people believe. It's wrong belief. Performance pay plan. You don't make the starting lineup unless you're the best player on the team. On a football field, doesn't matter if you were the best in your city growing up. Doesn't matter if you're the best in your college. You're a quarterback on a team. Yeah, you're amazing. You're amazing. But on this team, you're second or third. Sorry, we still want you here in case there's injuries, but you're not a starter. You get on the field by being the best on the team, and everyone's okay with that in a performance-based culture. This is not a communistic company or a socialistic company where everyone gets paid no matter what. This is a capitalistic country or company that says you produce, you get paid, and guess what? It doesn't matter your education level, your race, your gender, your age. None of that matters because the computer, we never ask you. We don't know. The computer does all the promotions. The computer does all. People call me about a commission. I go, I don't know. I didn't even know you got a customer. I don't, commissions are done by the computer. Morgan and our team, does certain things, upload your pay and do different things, but I don't even look at that. It's all generated based on how much do we earn? That's bonus revenue. That goes into the computer. What rank are you? You get paid. I can't go in and say, okay, I'm going to give this one qualification because they try hard, or this one qualification, because then it becomes a political thing. Then it's political. And believe me, I wish I wouldn't have had to go out and get those 680 customers or whatever it was by the end of the month. I wish that wasn't the case, but it was. So I didn't call them and complain about the game and the qualifications. I went and qualified. And I think that's what every one of us can do, and find people like that. And guess what? You'll make significant income. So that's all I wanted to talk about today is your mindset, and then a little plan to have a goal this week and think about a new market you want to open and talk to people. You start telling people, hey, I'm looking to help lead up the Sterling Heights, Michigan area. You do it right from your home, but we want to build a team of 4 or 5 get after it type people here. We may have to go through 20 or 30 who say they want it to find the 4 or 5. And the good news is no one can lose money here. It's, there's no investment required. And so we're looking for someone to help lead that. And hey, eventually you build a team of 10 people who are just getting one funding a month, and you're getting one funding a month. On average, you'll make $250,000 a year. Is that worth looking into? Let's go. Let's meet. Watch this video on there. It's our founder, David Rutz. Watch this video he did. And then let's get together and talk. They call you later, man, this is awesome. If they call later, I'm not sure. Hey, no problem. You can join for free and kick around the training, or just think about it. I'm looking for someone obviously who wants to help lead this. So I'll help lead for a while, but eventually I want this market leading itself. So if you don't see that being you, I totally get it. Totally get it. Do you know anyone else that you may think as you're watching this go, man, this would be perfect for Lisa, or this would be perfect for Tom, or because I'd love to refer them. In fact, you could refer them and kind of override it and benefit from it. I mean, you're not trying to get everyone, you're trying to build. When I'm talking to suppliers, I'm not looking for partners who are going to be here for 6 months like we've had. Never have I done that. I've been doing this for 20 something years, building supplier relationships, right? So I get it. I know how there's a risk that a supplier could fall apart, but we invest a lot of time into providers before we sign contracts with them to not invest a lot of time only to have it collapse and the supplier not follow through the way we need them to. We understand. So in doing so, you got to invest time with people like that too, sorting, making sure it's not a meaningless sort. It's a time investment to yourself, just like you'd invest in stocks. After learning more about the stock and investing in the right type stocks, right? And finding the ones who deserve your investment. Your time is worth a heck of a lot more than your dollars, guys, gals. You know that? None of us escape this earth alive. All of us have a day that we don't live here anymore. We go on to eternity if we're saved. It's my faith says. So it's time that is your greatest resource. And it's also time that never stops ticking. It's like a water faucet that's always dripping and it's passing. And this weekend, you either invested into your business or you didn't. Maybe you did invest into your family, or invested into catching up on some sleep because you're tired, or invested into some leisure. We all need all those areas, leisure, all that, but we also need to invest into our business so that we can set ourselves up financially. And I'll end with this. If someone doesn't have a retirement right now, I'm speaking to you. You're here for this reason right now. I almost did a video on this yesterday. If you don't have a retirement set up yet, and you're like, man, I'm at some point I want to be able to, travel and enjoy, but at this point I'll have to work until I die because I don't have a portfolio that'll pay me. If you had $1.2 million put away and you were making 6% a year, you could draw out about $12,000 a month in gross income. Your money would all be gone in 30 years. But if you had 1.2 million put away, you could make 10,000 a month. I'm sorry. You can make 120,000 a year for 30 years, just living off your portfolio, drawing out money. If you were making 6% a year. Okay. So most people don't have 1.2 million set aside. They don't. And so, the cost of living and everything, it's going to get to the point where $100,000 a year doesn't cut it. It may be bare bones, but it's not going to cover travel. I mean, you get an airline ticket now. What used to be $170 is now 450. Hotel rooms that used to be 49 to 79 are now 190 to 230 for the same days in, right? Unless you're on somewhere on a Monday night on the side of a freeway. But it's not easy to travel the world right now. It's not easy to do anything. Everything, the costs are so high. But this business can build you a portfolio that gives you money. Do you want an investment portfolio that gives you money every month as you draw down on it, or do you want a business that produces you override income every month? There's people in our company who made 8 to 10 grand in override income in December. There's people who've made that already in January in override income. So, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe 6 or 7 grand. So yeah, you can make $8,000 a month from your investment portfolio, or you can build a business like this and have a team and help them be productive and recruit people who are productive. And don't worry about this curl machine doesn't work. My arms never change. I've seen you on the curling machine 5 times. It's not the curling machine. It's the person sitting on the bench who determines whether their biceps are going to be benefited. This treadmill doesn't work. I've been using this treadmill. I've been a member for 4 years and I'm still way what I did then. How often are you here and what did you change about your eating? I mean, let's be real, right? So, same thing with this business. So, some of us have to recruit people who believe the right way. I started with your beliefs, and that's what I wanted to focus on today. So, in summary, get your story straight, believe you can make it happen. Your mechanics are simple. It's just referring people, telling them, sharing what you believe with them to attract people who believe what you believe. Sharing it from a little posture of performance based, which is not fake. I really don't want to recruit a bunch of people who don't want to do this and just want to ask questions. I want to recruit performance based focused people who are in a performance based pay plan. There's no hourly salary here. So, those people don't do well here if they're going to be nervous about that. Have a job somewhere else, work here part time. And if you're not earning enough here part time, you need to have a job to pay your bills so you don't have a imaginary gun against your head or the pressure of making money. All right, let's see what questions or comments you may have, if any. I see Harlequin's got her hand up. Go ahead, Harlequin.
Hey, David. First off, thank you so much for this promotion. I think that's a wonderful idea. Get people back recruiting. Um,
Keep in mind, it'll get some back recruiting, but the performance based.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyways, I was writing it down and I missed how long that will last. So you get a 10% match on anybody that you recruit in January for the
For their first 30 days.
first 30 days. Okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. The other
And
thing
by the
is,
way, we're not putting it out on a promotion. You can tell your team we're not building a spreadsheet about or a image about it or anything like that. You know about it here. Tell your teams.
okay. And does that apply to anyone who has already been recruited in January?
Yep. Anyone recruited in January.
Okay. I've got some team members to tell about that then.
Yep.
So, all
We'll
right.
tell them on Friday as well, but between now and Friday, we're not going to make an image about this. This is if you're plugged in, you know about it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well,
But you
thank you
can
so
tell
much.
everyone you want. You bet. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Okay, we got some in the chat room, so let me see what we got here. Go Pack, go. Yes. Kelly, good morning. Okay, well, only see the ones that everyone saw. There's none personally to me. Let me make sure of that. Okay. Well, listen, let's rock and roll. Get in go mode. Be a part of our top 10 new productive leaders. We'll be tracking them. Get part of it. Start producing new people who produce new revenue. See what you can do. You never know what's going to happen for you. All right. God bless you all. Take care. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on the on the team building call, team building training.